The technology is so proprietary that we'll be the only fourth country in the world to launch our own astronauts from our own spaceship. You know, the heart of this great country, you are in this environment called the family. There's a reason we start everything by saying Mata Pita Guru Devam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. That is Purnam, full. This is full. You're already complete children. That is a great civilization. When a mother gives birth to a child, the child is whole. You all are, your mothers have given birth to you. She has not lost anything of her. She's also complete. I mean, we had lunch a long time back. Jai Hind! Thank you. First of all the dignitaries who were there on stage, Aditya ji, the Vice Chancellor, Registrar, everybody. Most importantly, Urja and the children of this fantastic institute. Like what Aditya ji said, I am overwhelmed. I did most of my graduation not too far away from here in a place called the National Defence Academy, Kadakwasla, Pune. And I can say, and I was telling the Vice Chancellor and everybody, I'm not joking. Yesterday we were in IIT Mumbai. The moment I entered here, I had a fantastic nostalgic feeling of being in a great place with a great tradition, with great energy, with a fantastic alumni and the present children. When I saw them, when I interacted with them, when I see the way they dress and talk, you would give a run for the money to any NDA cadet or any officer of the Indian Armed Forces. I can tell you with conviction. Why are we here? It's the time of Bharat, Viksit Bharat. When I stand here to talk about that, I talk with a lot of humility. When Aditya ji, he's written a fantastic book. I can't even dare to even write one page. I read it though. It's a fantastic work. And I realized in this small reel-driven universe of ours in Instagram, attention span being 30 seconds, the greatest benefit you can do to yourself is to spend some time in a long format called a book and read it. All the fantastic books have already been written in this great civilization of ours. It's called the Vedas, the Puranas, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita. They are available anytime for you to freely access. Guess what? There's no copyright on that, unlike what most of the Westerners do. It is freely accessible to you. It's our knowledge, not just for ourselves, but for this entire world, because it's got the knowledge of the universe condensed just for us in this world. So I encourage all of you to please read the book, read all the books of this great nation. But then why are you here listening to me? I, not as a human being, as Prashant the ego, but what I represent, this external form, which you associate as an astronaut, maybe that is a metaphor for what Viksit Bharat stands for today. And over the next few slides, unfortunately, I don't have a pointer, so I had to keep saying next for a long time to the slide operator. I can maybe give you a small glimpse of what you all have a big responsibility for in the coming years. So lucky you all that you all are going to be doing and living in a Viksit Bharat. So when you listen to this talk today, I'll try to do justice by showing you through the life of an astronaut what I feel would be the epitome of Viksit Bharat. What you see out here is not algorithms to put a man into space. It's also art. And that's why we are going to do things differently. We never considered things different. It was one whole. I was just saying to the Vice Chancellor and to the students, our culture never considered astronomy and astrology as two different things. It was one holistic, like our NEP, the teacher was telling also. We considered Jyotish, which involved both. And many people may say, oh, what Jyotish is just for, predicting your future and all. No. It also found out the precision of Earth at 26,500 years it takes for one full precision. That's science. We never had a distinction. So make your own standards. That's one of the things also written in the book. That when you think about developed democracy and a lot of these indices which are given by foreign countries, It's time to make your own indices. We are a fantastic nation with a great history. We set the standards and we tell them with humility, not from a position of fear, not position of fright, but from a position of composed strength. When all our devas, devis, deities, with full energy, with full weapons, the true strength comes when you do not use a weapon, but you know it is available with you. Your true strength of India is in not browbeating anyone down, but showing that we have the strength to prosper and make everyone prosper. This is a land which gave COVID vaccine to everyone, even when we did not have it fully for our own country. That's how great your country is. Use that as the model. Next slide, please. So that's who I am. Again, when I say you, please don't, there's no boasting here. It's to epitomize what a Viksit Bharat could be. I was privileged to get the first astronaut wings of India by the Honorable Prime Minister, and what you see here is that, but I would like to see this in most of your chests. It doesn't epitomize to you be an astronaut, to be an astronaut mindset. That is what is required for Viksit Bharat. Next, please. So that's the Gaganyaan capsule, all inborn technology to send me and you all to space tomorrow, and that's our rocket too. Next slide, please. But what does it take to be an astronaut? So the initial lot of people who go up have to be fighter pilots because you're used to interacting with fast-moving jets and take actions in an emergency. Next, please. This is a test pilot. So among fighter pilots, we got a separate breed of people known as a test pilot. Who's a test pilot? He's the one who takes your machines to the extreme end of its envelope and tests it. Why do you need to do it? Whenever you develop a new platform, a new spacecraft, like happened in USSR, in the erstwhile USSR, and in the USA, like Neil Armstrong and Yuri Gagarin and all, there were fighter pilots and test pilots so that you can take these dangerous machines made by our scientists but untested and test it all for all of you so that you all may fly tomorrow to space and beyond. Next. However, it also involves doing something like what you all do. And that's why I say you are already ahead of the curve. I had to do all this later in life. After my BSc in NDA, I had to do some few other degrees and I had to do my MTech from Indian Institute of Science. And I realized you guys are already 30 years ahead of me in that. So give up yourself a pat on the back that part of the thing of being an astronaut mindset is to have a technical bent of mind. But remember, there is no pride here that you're in technical. Art and science is same. Remember, Ardhanareshwari, man, woman, it all is metaphors for each other. Art and science is very important. Multidisciplinary approach is very important. And that's why to be an astronaut also, you see all those things are important. The coming slides, you'll see even more. Next, please. That is how I would look when I am 90 years old, if you care to see my picture. But to be in this entire game, it also symbolizes that you have to put your body through many rigors. You will have to put yourself outside your comfort zone. That's a centrifuge when I'm going through 4 to 5G, and that's how the blood pools down when gravitational forces pull on your body. It's part of the astronaut training and it's part of fighter training also. But in astronaut training, because most of you will also go up, you need to get used to most of this. And not just get used to it, you should be able to take some important actions inside the cockpit when you're subjected to such G-forces. Next, please. Also, you should be in a spatially three-dimensional place where you're floating. The entire room out here is a room when you're floating in space. So you should be able to orient yourself and all your neurovestibular organs should be functioning well. So there are a lot of tests involved in that. There are a lot of simulations involved in. Most of it is really cool and fun to do. Like I saw all those gadgets in the corridor when I was coming. So most of you all straight away fit in. And that is also part of Viksit Bharat, that we embrace technology as it is our second skin. How do we do all this? Continuously also by updating our flying. So even now for next month, I'm going and continuing to do my flying. So this is flying over the skies of Pune, in fact. I was flying from Loegaon. Every once in a while, we go to different places and fly so as to keep our flying currency and so that that airmanship is kept alive. So I encourage you in this, that whenever you're doing whatever you do, you have to come back to brass tacks and keep studying and honing your skills. Right now, you're in that environment. The whole aim of the game is to keep yourself current and relevant. Next, please. And this is the air-to-air refueling. So another thing is that you have to keep a mind sharp. Why I showed this particular photograph is that it's just a half-meter, kind of a bubble in which you need to go and plug in at 550 kilometers per hour, flying at 4 to 6 kilometers altitude. At that point of time, you need extreme kind of vigilance. I always feel that this is the most fun thing you can do. But some people say, aren't you crazy? Isn't this dangerous? By the way, we do it by night also, and sometimes while entering thunderstorms. And I said, you get to do this for free. So imagine you're going to be in this great country with all the fantastic things happening. And I say, is there a better place than India, Bharat to be at this particular time? I'm saying the rest of the world, and trust me, I've interacted with almost the rest of the world. They're almost jealous that they are not in your shoes in this great country called Bharat. In this fantastic city called Pune. You know the history of this great city. How many people get to be in Pune within India? What clean air to breathe. What a fantastic place to be. And this institute, have you next time you're just walking the corridors, just put your hand and touch those pillars. How ancient they are. They got a story of their own. Just sitting there in that calmness and touching, you will find later on when you go in life, and when you touch many artificial man-made steel, that they don't have the same energy of the institute you are in. By the way, you will also realize you would have visited many institutes. You all are already much ahead of the curve to be in such great halls. Imbibe that energy. You all are great scientists and engineers. You know that energy which you can't see with your eyes is also visible and it's available. It's not visible, it's available there. And trust me, these halls and this entire institute has got an energy of its own. Do not forget to suck it a lot every day. Next. So in this entire thing, you also have to survive, right? So the capsule may land over the sea. You're supposed to get out, and in case it sinks, survive till the time rescue comes. So part of the training is also to do that. And in your own quest to be part of Viksit Bharat, remember that you have to always be prepared for your own capsule, which may sink at any time. It's a metaphor. At that time, are you prepared to jump ship? Are you prepared? Are you actually training like your life depends on it, literally? If not, you're just coming into a comfort zone. And our country cannot afford that. You have to be part of Viksit Bharat. For that, all your contributions required. Next, please. Deserts. You may land over desert also. So all kinds of environment. Just think out of the box. Because it might take 2 days for rescue to come. So that's the deserts of Russia, where we were surviving. And then, next slide is the fun slide, which I always like to say. Hitler and Napoleon did not survive the Russian winter, but we did. 2 days in the Russian winter. So that's part of the training. It's fun. My wife, many of my friends, I say, are you crazy to do all this stuff and all that? Why wouldn't you just want to sit in a sofa with air conditioning on and watch TV? And I'm thinking, have they not got the memo? I mean, who wouldn't want to do this for free? And people said, and I'm saying, imagine here, you got Singhgad, you got Lonavala, you got the entire country, Himalayas. What a beautiful country, right from the desert to the seas to mountains to oceans and caves, a lot of forts in Maharashtra. What blessing we have got, I'm telling you. Seriously, I've been to Russia. Most of the time it snows, and for a few months they are lucky. One day my friend in Russia called me and said, hey, come, I'll show you something. And I said, what? Look, the sun. Next slide, please. So you have to get used to cramped environments, but it's again fun, right? So spacesuit is like a mini spacecraft. It's very high technology. So here I just want to tell you one thing. Most of us, and very good, we make satellites and rockets. Have you noticed one thing? Everybody in India and the world are making rockets and satellites. Yes or no? Step out of your comfort zone. Who is the Indian startup and from College of Engineering Pune who's going to make the next spacesuit? The human-centric products. Who's the one who's going to make it? Who's going to make the space toilet? These are the things which are the billion-dollar ideas also. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of the capsule and jump into the water. Next, please. That's the largest centrifuge in the world in Moscow, in which you are supposed to go inside. They rotate you like in a washing machine. And at that time, when your body is pulling down blood, you're supposed to get into some controls and prepare for emergency. In case your capsule is not going to land at the right place, you're supposed to make sure as an emergency, because 1 second here or there while re-entering the atmosphere at 8 kilometers per second will throw you 500 kilometers there or here minus from your impact point of the Bay of Bengal. That's how fast things happen. So that's why most of the time in the initial sorties when things are not proven, you have a test pilot and a fighter pilot, because we have to test those systems, and it's not we have something great, but it is because we got training and it's already there when we were born. In your own place as part of Viksit Bharat, let's think about it. What are the things which you yourself are developing which will make sure that you be part of it? Many of the aerospace engineers, I'm amazed, they don't have practical knowledge of how an aircraft flies. You don't have to actually fly, it might be costly, but you can be in the simulators. You should have the passion to do what you're developing. And trust me, once you are there and do it, you'll develop the right product. And this is what this nation requires. Don't just blindly ape the West. Next. That's me and my colleague Shuks and others. He had recently gone to space. When we were training in Moscow for the parabolic flight, and the next slide will show you what we do. We float and do yoga in zero gravity, and we do a lot of other practice and all. It's fantastic. It's really good. Maybe our yogis and munis were also in some parabolic flight, from old times. We never know. Next. And all for our country. Nothing more than that. It's beautiful to hold your tricolor. Next. So that was the Russian training, and fast forward last 1.5 years, so been in the US and been back in India after that and training with the Gaganyaan Mission as a backup astronaut to my colleague Shuks, who had gone to International Space Station. A lot of training there, pumping carbon dioxide inside you to see whether how much carbon dioxide tolerance you got, because unlike on the ground, we are blessed to have 1G gravity, but in space, carbon dioxide will not go down, it will remain here unless you have ventilation to remove it. And if you're not careful and don't have the right ventilation, and if you're sleeping and you forget to have ventilation, you might drown in your own carbon dioxide. Okay, so don't take 1G for granted. Don't take being here in College of Engineering for granted. Don't take being in this great country under great leadership at this particular moment for granted. What a fantastic time to be here. Viksit Bharat is a book for Aditya ji, how he's put it down, to enable it and to make it actualized. Your professors, your vice chancellor, registrar, all can only show you the path. They are margdarshis. You are the one who will be there, and I seriously envy you, because I want to continue to jump out of airplanes and land on Mars and do everything. But very soon, I may not be able to do that, and you all will be there doing that. So just jump and grab that opportunity. Next. It also involves, somebody was asking me, what are the food items, special food which we need to eat in space, all the electrical equipment, how to handle cameras. Next. And then to be part of that environment, to build simulators, those are also part of making your own startups and being part of the space environment. Next. Then you have a lot of fun. Think of all the experiments with all your colleagues from here, from Poland and Hungary. And that below there is the space toilet. Yes, the most difficult thing to do is to go to the bathroom. Okay, when you're floating. Next time you go to the bathroom here, just think about that. Don't take it for granted. Okay, that's what I want to tell. One of the biggest rocket science problem is how to make a toilet. NASA has sent out a problem statement. So difficult that the one used in the International Space Station is a Russian toilet. Even the Americans are using a Russian toilet. And they put something which was made by, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was McDonnell Douglas or Lockheed Martin. One of them made, or Northrop Grumman, I think. And that didn't work, and they had to deorbit it now. And that is literally rocket science. Don't go for the low-hanging fruit, and that's a billion-dollar idea for you. The next space toilet, make it, we need to do it. Okay, next. But you can't do anything alone, It's all teamwork. You all are here. I saw fantastic teamwork when I was outside. Seriously, it was warming to the heart. And this is what is going to stand in support. So when we do training, we make sure that because we're going to be staying in a house like Big Boss environment, but don't go, that's a negative environment, a Big Boss. This is a Gurukul. Gurukul, which our country has always, we have prided ourselves in that. And that's why I say our strength is in that. Being together, we train. So this is in Mexico, off Mexico. We went for 5 days and we were supposed to survive on a canoe. And without phone connection, some basic food was given and we just have to live off the land and do something. But to see how, when the chips are down, how do you survive? But being a fighter pilot and from the Indian Armed Forces, my country had already prepared me for most of it. Remember, most of the other people who come for all this do not have a military background. And that's why I was so amazed when I came in. I saw College of Engineering, Pune, they're ahead of the curve. They're as military as anybody from my own armed forces out here. So kudos to all of you for that. Next. All astronauts, most of them gone multiple times to space. such humble human beings, and they all, as you can see, they consider the entire thing as lots of fun. Viksit Bharat is supposed to be fun. The moment you think you're not having fun, something is wrong. This great land is supporting you, remember that. So always add that when you are part of this great country and doing everything in service to this country, smile. Smile because not we are in camera, literally on camera nowadays, but what else would you do? Where else would you be? So remember that always. So here also, all these guys, when we train, we are having a blast. Working in the space program is actually as if it's 365 days holiday. At least that's the way I look at it. Make your work such that you wake up on a Monday morning and you go for it. If not, that's not work anymore. It becomes your hobby, your play. Money will come later. Don't run after that. You'll be able to sleep at night. Next. So that's the Axiom spacesuit, which is, they won the contract from NASA. That's the spacesuit which will be seen on the surface of Moon very soon in the Artemis project. A lot of things they are doing. Why I show most of this is that most of the scientists in all these places are Indian Americans. You all are the ones who make all of it. These are the problem statements also that you need to address. And when they do out here, what they do is that they make sure, one problem statement is to make sure like they address it for the third percentile women, right from the body to even the internal function. So that third percentile women, if you're catering, it means you can cater to a larger population so that tomorrow everybody can fly to space. Whenever you're making your technology, whenever you're thinking of Viksit Bharat, cater for that last person also. If not, monetize whatever it is for some clientele which you think you're doing, Viksit Bharat. But remember, sabke saath sabka vikas. That's what our Prime Minister wants. Make sure that third person, that's really the people who deserve it. You're thinking about them when you're making it. When you do that, automatically what has to come will happen. That is where the silver bullet for Viksit Bharat is there. Next. The people who are on ground also, we get a lot of training as an astronaut. You're supposed to be knowing everything that tomorrow you're supposed to. So that's the famous, different rooms in Houston and Alabama, Huntsville, where everything in space is controlled, the mission control rooms. It's very important. So when you think about an astronaut state of mind as a metaphor for Viksit Bharat, remember everybody has a role. Some of these people are ex-astronauts who sit on the ground also, because it's very important. You need not be out there only. You can be down here and contribute. Next, please. And our international partners, Japanese Space Agency, European Space Agencies, many people always dream about being all of these places. NASA, SpaceX, I've been all of these places. Trust me, there's no place like this. The moment I entered here, the energy here, all those places you feel a kind of not feeling complete. When I came here, I felt all guys are complete. I'm being very serious. You guys are already there. Now just, continue doing what you have to do. Next, please. That's the famous Starship facility in South Texas on the border of Mexico. The rocket which you see there on the left is the Starship, the one which will take humanity to Mars. And Elon Musk factory there is building at the rate of one rocket every 2 weeks. But why I'm showing this out here is to say that most of the people who are working there were Indian Americans. And they all love to come back to this country. This is where we want to make those starships which are going to go in future. You all are going to be making it. You are the ones who are going to be setting foot on Mars. You are the ones who are going to make in India. And that's why the Gaganyaan program, as a first step, I'm just, merely walking on the footsteps of greats and giants. And I'm just holding the platform for you, future generation, that Gaganyaan, being an Indian rocket, taking the mission Gaganyaan, taken Indian, in an Indian capsule from India. And then it will set a kind of a standard for the future. So that is why these things are so important. Next. Family and the people on the ground. Very, very important. I saw many other people out here. The people who are back home. Remember, they too have a role to play. When you're sitting back at home and discussing and all, that small support that they give goes a long way. In the astronaut fraternity, the family has a very big role to play. It's ingrained almost like a rule that the family has to be part of many functions. Why? That's the reason that when you're in this very high stress situations for the astronauts, they have their family to fall back on, and they are the ones who psychologically take care of them. You all are lucky. You're in this great country. It already provides a cradle for you to have support. When I was there in the US and many countries, I found that their country's emotional support system is missing. It's automatically available in this place by the books that are already written, by the people you can talk to, your parents, your grandparents, your friends, everyone. Just by being here and breathing this air and going out and seeing the heart of this great country, you are in this environment called the family. There's a reason we start everything by saying Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. All that is out here already available. Remember that. Next. This is a great slide of mine. I don't know how many of you know who's that. So that's Shukla, the moment he came back from space. And that's me, that Shuk's in the beginning. I don't know how many people know that 90-year-old person out there. He is Air Commodore retired Ravish Malhotra. He was the number 2 to Rakesh Sharma sir when in 1984 they trained in Moscow. And imagine he came to see us there, 90-year-old hip replacement surgery done. And you know what's in that packet? It's his overall when he trained in 1984 in Moscow, Russia. That iconic thing. That's the kind of passion you have, right? When you come, you cheer for your country anywhere and everywhere you are, whether you're on foreign soil or wherever you're here. And that's what I want all of you to do. That when you see the other person doing something, cheer for him and see how you can be part of that entire program. You may not yourself fly to space, but you being there means that you will get something out of it which is much beyond what you thought. So make sure you don't pull the other person down. You're always walking shoulder to shoulder with them. Next. So the final flurry of slides, and my friend out here, I'll be saying a lot of nexts. Okay, what is an astronaut? An astronaut is a state of mind. And when I say this, I want all of you to understand that you all are astronauts, Gaganyatris, okay? What is the state of mind? He's a fighter pilot who puts himself into extremely difficult situations so that he knows what to do, like here in the decompression chamber. Next. He's a chef who tastes all kinds of food that he wants to eat when he's in space, and he's very critical over there with the salt and the spice and the texture. Next. He's a corporate leader who decides what are the kind of designs that he needs to do and what are the kind of improvements he needs to do, what are the costs and the balances that he needs to measure so that the program is on track and on time. Next. He's a person who's a model who poses in the right uniforms and nice overalls so he looks good in camera so that he can inspire the next generation. Next. He is a firefighter who makes sure that when there is an emergency on board, he knows how to use all his equipment and also make sure his colleague can use the equipment. Like over here when there is a fire on board or an ammonia leak, which is a poisonous gas. Next. He's a handyman, a plumber, an electrician, a sewage cleaner to make sure that when he is in space, he knows how to handle everything because in space, there is nobody other than you. Next. He's also a very good student, like most of you are. As you can see, I'm holding the book and practicing in front of my instructor out there. And whatever he tells me, I'm a good student and I got good passing grades. You know why? Because if you fail here, you die. So do everything in such a way that you give your 100%. Next. This, you have to be a fantastic swimmer. Remember, you all are astronauts. It doesn't mean... But you have to survive, and when you are there and your helicopter, which is going to save you after coming down, topples, you're supposed to be coming out and rescuing yourself. Next, you have to be a person who can cook your food. So that is a cooking machine on board the ISS in which you're supposed to take your dehydrated food, put the right amount of water so that you get the right texture and you're supposed to eat it in time. So you're supposed to be a good cook also. Next. And you're supposed to be a right handy tool man in which you take the right tool from the right box at the right time and make sure that you apply the right torque so that you don't break the tool and the entire costly equipment. Because remember, you have to wait for supplies from an entire 6-month delayed spacecraft to get everything back on board. So you become more diligent and don't take things for granted. Hey, so tool is broken, let me just go to the bazaar and buy one more. So that's a handyman. Next. You're also behind the console. You're the one who's supporting your colleague. You're an operator. You know everything about communication. You know everything about computers. You know everything about electronics so that in case something goes wrong at the wrong time, you're able to see which system is not working and provide support in time. Next. You're also a medic, a very high-level nurse, a low-level surgeon so that you know how to give CPR to your friends in zero gravity and give the right injection and make sure that he lives and tomorrow he can provide the right support to you also, because out there is nobody other than you and your friends to help you. Next. And you are supposed to be adventurous. Go to all forbidden environment and live off the land. Next. Also, be able to do all kinds of teamwork. No personality traits. So you have to be a psychologist also. Next. And then go out there in the wilderness. Not just of the ocean, out of space and the big bad world outside, and make sure that anything that comes is an opportunity. Next. Also be a payload operations. You should know all the research programs, everything that is going on, whether it's a biology experiment, whether it is a physics experiment, whether it's an experiment on you or your friend, and you have to make sure that you are able to contribute in the right time, because those are costly experiments and it has to be done when you're in microgravity. Next. You have to be a cameraman too, like I saw many people out here, and because you get only that one shot, so all our Instagram skills on the phones will also come to help there. So this. Next. And we get all the equipment, how to use it, all kinds of lens, because you get that one shot when you're traveling at 8 kilometers per second, 91 minutes for one rotation around the Earth, and you need that perfect shot. So everything becomes that much more important. We don't take it for granted. Next. And after doing all that, you can smile and relax, because the people that you see out here are astronauts because we have fun. We would not ask for any other life. When you do all these other things, you'll understand why you're blessed by this great country. And all of them, trust me, most of them separately came to us and said that when you guys are sending your guys to space, is there any way we can also come and fly with you in the future? That is the power that we are going to have, that in tomorrow, our mission, Gaganyaan and all, they'll come and fly with us. Next. I love saying this, A human being should be able to change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hawk, corner a ship, design a building, write a sonnet, balance accounts, build a wall, set a bone, comfort the dying, take orders, give orders, cooperate, act alone, solve equations, analyze a new problem, pitch manure, program a computer, cook a tasty meal, fight efficiently, die gallantly, specialize in for insects. You have to be multidisciplinary. And I was telling many players, that's the reason why you see, you know what, I always feel so sad. 10,000 Brits were able to control and rule over this great country of ours. You know why? The same reason why, a CEO will be Sundar Pichai, but Google is owned by a foreigner. We make the best scientists, the best engineers, the best brains, and so much of creativity. But the final touch is given by somebody else because he's got a multidisciplinary approach. Please inculcate a multidisciplinary approach in everything, and don't think that it is not for you. Whether it is geography, whether it is politics, geopolitics, history, arts, semiconductor, improve your knowledge everywhere. If not, at least spend more time with your other colleagues. Next. Why do we go to space? The simple joys of life: to go to toilet. Do not ever forget the simple joys of life. Take a deep breath, not if you're in Delhi. Okay, remember the small joys of life. You all spend a lot of time wearing your VR goggles and saying, oh, everything looks more and more real. I'll show you something which is even more real. Remove your goggles and start touching nature. You can't get more real than this. This is the actual virtual reality that this great consciousness has given us. Next. We shall not cease from exploration. The end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. So now, since you already know this, don't wait for, what's the irony of our life? We always want to be there, not here. And after reaching there, what happens to there? There becomes here. There is only here and now. Don't think about this. If you live in the past, you're in depression. If you live in the future, you're in anxiety. This is fantastic. The presence is a present. Okay, next. I'll just finish the last few with this. In 4th October 1957, the Sputnik movement took place. So in Sputnik movement, what happened is that in Russia, USSR then launched a first satellite of the world, right? I don't know whether you know about those historic events. It was known as the Sputnik moment. The rest of the world got the message that, oh, great, we can launch satellites. But you know what USA took this as? Oh, USSR can send ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads against us. And then they formed DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Project, which is the mother of the internet. They found out the DARPA net. So everything happens with dual use and also when you make your own stuff, understand Sputnik moments keep happening in life. But why am I talking about that out here? The next slide, Gaganyaan moment. We are waiting for that in 2027. Why is it important? This time, we'll be the only fourth country in the world. From USSR, when they launched an astronaut, they called him cosmonaut. From USA, they called him an astronaut. From China, they called him a taikonaut. The technology is so proprietary that we'll be the only fourth country in the world to launch our own astronauts from our own spaceship. But why is it called, why I would like to call it, and you heard about it here, you heard it here first, because the Gaganyaan moment is going to be, why is it important that an Indian goes to space from here? Because we will do it in our own style, in the humane way. What is the meaning of that? And here I want you all to pay very close attention. Next slide, please. Our Honorable Prime Minister, and I have to thank Aditya ji because he's very meticulously documented all this. Bharat's legacy is not measured merely by economic or material wealth. Instead, the nation has always valued knowledge, spirituality, and collective well-being over individual possessions. This philosophy is encapsulated in the ancient Sanskrit phrase, idam na mama, this is not mine, which has profoundly influenced Bharat's cultural and ethical framework. This principle reflects Bharat's selfless approach, where the fruits of knowledge and progress are shared for the collective good rather than personal gain. Shri Narendra Modi, Honorable PM of Bharat. This is what I want you to think. Don't ape the West. They do everything to make you more and more separate and to make one person very rich, become rich, but do it the Indian way. This is the Gaganyaan moment I'm telling you all to. When we send our spaceship on top, we have to be there. You know why? Because 4th October 1957, Sputnik got launched. But 10th October 1967, and that's why 4th October, 10th October is known as the Space Week all around the world. The Outer Space Treaty was signed in UN. I know what they said, we'll use space for peaceful purposes. This time we need to be there in space at the right time so that we make sure the rest of the world behaves and make sure that they don't start parceling out the way they did in colonial times, the way they did when we missed the nuclear seat by not being the nuclear table, the way we missed out by not being on the UN table in the Security Council. This time we will be there. The next time somebody asks you why we have to send an Indian from an Indian space to space, explain to them. That's why I'm showing this to you. That we will do it the Indian way, and we need to be there to show that India is going to make sure that everything happens in a very fantastic Indian way, and only we can ensure that. Understood? Make sure it happens. That's our Gaganyaan moment. Next. Again, I have to thank Aditya ji for this. Every nation has a message to deliver and a mission to fulfill, a destiny to reach. A lot of synchronicity happened when I read his book because these are two of the sayings I generally follow from two great people I follow, and Sri Aurobindo. This country whose young men are inspired by the glory of the past, pain of the present, and the dream of the future are always on the path of progress. If you're having any doubt as to what this is you want to do. Next slide. This is again encapsulating everything which we have said. We are all space travelers. You know why I said you are an astronaut? You're traveling at 31 kilometers per second around the sun. Your spaceship is known as Earth. Your spacesuit is known as your skin. Aren't you all already astronauts? Just change your state of mind. That's what we are. Next. The great Sanskrit saying. I don't need to read it out. I'll just read out the first line. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. That is Purnam, full. This is full. You're already complete, children. That is a great civilization. When a mother gives birth to a child, the child is whole. You all are, your mothers have given birth to you. She has not lost anything of her. She's also complete. You're already complete, and show the world also what our technology and startups and companies we do for Viksit Bharat. It is not exclusive of them. It's not a zero-sum game. And that's what's written in this book also. And that's what our Prime Minister wants to say also. It's not a zero-sum game. Rest of the world considers it as a zero-sum game, that if they develop, the others should not develop. But we never do that. Remember always what our great country is. Next. So this is your language. From fear of missing out, the word which I made, please move to relief on missing out. Don't worry, everything is divine. You're already complete. You're Purnam. And then go to equanimity. No fear or no relief on missing out. Everything's perfect. Okay? Next. Remain a lifelong student. That doesn't mean to keep studying and giving exams. Just have curiosity. It's the best thing you can do. At this stage, my daughter tells me I'm a serial student. I keep studying. Okay, I like that tag, that curiosity. And you got YouTube, you got a lot of technology to keep studying. Next. You are the hero and celebrity. Don't become random celebrities on Instagram, Facebook, and all that and see those random numbers coming up. Your parents, your grandparents are already your greatest fans. Give them some time when you go back and not look at your phone. They will treat you like kings. You're already celebrity and you want random people to give you likes and dislikes and say that, oh, I'm celebrity somewhere. And the actual people who consider you as a celebrity, you don't consider them anything. They're the ones you all are sitting here for, reason you're sitting here. Otherwise, you would not be here. Not because they're given birth to you, but they're even financing you. Next, and sorry, the personal trainer. We give money in a gym and go and do 20 push-ups, and even though he's making us do a lot of painful stuff, but since we are given money, we accept it. But in real life, our enemies and the people who give us pain, imagine he's giving us a free lesson. So don't react or respond. Respect them and say, thank you, free personal trainer. With no money. Just look at yourself and say, oh, thank God. Okay. And he'll say, no, but I'm trying to anger you. Oh, it's okay. You're like a tree which has fallen down. Tree is a force of nature. I don't cry about the tree. You're also a force of nature. And that's true. You also give me no problem. Let it keep coming, you know. One, this is the final few messages. When you were 1 year old, you don't remember, right? But you were non-judgmental. You saw everything so beautifully. You never judged. See it again for the first time. See Pune again for the first time today. How beautiful it is. See your bathroom for the first time today. This thing when you touch, it's so fantastic, I'm telling you. See everything first time. The next one is aspire to be one in everything you do. Mean not negative competition. That's not our style of Viksit Bharat. Your style, our India, is that we let everyone. It's not zero-sum game that somebody goes up, other comes down. Aspire to be one in a healthy competition, not by stepping on somebody's shoulder, but by making sure we all rise. And the third one, Purnamada Purnamidam. We all are one. We are all cells of the same body. There is no differentiation. And once you do that, trust me, it'll be fantastic. Everything will come to you. Next, from astronaut state of mind, can we all go to a Gaganyatri state of mind? Are you all Gaganyatris? Yes. Are you all Gaganyatris? Yes. Thank you. Next slide. Space. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. And sorry I exceeded slight amount of time, but I thought it's important. And I wouldn't be here if it was for the relentless effort of Aditya ji and the entire team out here. I would like to thank all of them from the bottom of my heart. And I don't want to take any more time. I will request Aditya ji to come up and maybe say a few words to make sure we progress to the next session, which is the question and answer session.
Thank you so much. So this was a wonderful talk and presentation by Prasanth ji. And you know, when we planned this event, immediately we realized that the target audience should be students. You know, I'm repeating myself, you all are the creators of Viksit Bharat, and it's very important for us to show you the vision of what is Viksit Bharat and motivate you guys to work for this. You know, like Prasanth ji said, every mission needs a world-class ground team, and you are that team for India. You know, your curiosity, ethics, and excellence will power Viksit Bharat. So, you know, you guys are the key to this entire mission. So, I'll do a few, questions with Prasanth ji, and thereafter we'll open it up for audience Q&A. Unfortunately, we have a 7 p.m. hard stop, so I'll try to, ask just a few questions. I'll just try to get into things, Prasanth ji, that will be helpful for the students. You've covered a lot of things already. So, you train with checklists and after-action reviews. What daily routine can every student adopt tomorrow to build this astronaut-level discipline?
Thank you, Aditya ji. It's a very relevant question. And I'm sure as students, you're very curious about how you can make sure a process is followed, right? So a process engineering is what we as fighter pilots and astronauts do. We follow a certain amount of drill each time, certain things which are survival oriented. So for example, being in the cockpit of a fighter aircraft or of a space capsule, you're supposed to do certain actions which come when there is an emergency. So that is the ultimate level procedure, right? That every day in the morning, when we come for the morning briefing, we have got a mock ejection seat and we prepare and randomly we call people and he's supposed to rattle out certain things without fail, not in one spelling mistake, so that it becomes muscle memory. So when an actual situation happens, he is not reacting to that situation thinking it's in the air. He is just following that exact steps and before he knows, oops, he's ejected out of the aircraft and it saves his life. So what you need to follow in your own life is that which are those emergency situations which warrant you to have those checklists. But more important than that, all the checklists in the world is of no use if you do not make conscious effort to integrate it and study it in your own manner. Your method is unique to you only and make it foolproof so that tomorrow when an emergency situation comes, whether it be, exiting a job, exiting a certain amount of subjects which you don't want to be, have you ejection proofed yourself and taken those actions so that you pull the handle in time? You know what action to take. Thank you.
No, very well said, Prashantji. And I would really tell the students that this level of discipline of having processes in your own life will really help you in your student life, your corporate career ahead. I would recommend a book called The Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawande. It's worth reading how these simple, everyday things will really help you, will even help you with time management. Going further, Prashantji, in your world, is always greater than the individual. In space, crew cohesion is survival. What behavioral rule, not technical, should student teams follow in their labs, startups, etc., to cut conflicts and raise results?
A very relevant question. I would say it is the most important aspect in astronaut training is to get along with your colleague. So psychologically, you have to pass. There are a lot of psychological tests to make sure that you are a team member and you are not an individual member. But notwithstanding any of those psychological tests, you all know it is mind over matter.
Right.
To mentally make sure you are very sharp and you're resilient. Resilient is a way of bouncing back. Because the situations that come tomorrow, however much you prepare, will be unscripted. So when you're unscripted, the only thing that you have to see is whether you are prepared mentally. And for that, I will tell you something which I use myself. I showed it out here. Purnamada Purnamidam. It is only when you feel you are incomplete that you try to feel completeness by taking something from your colleague or your team member. But if you are already complete, you will do everything for the fun of it, right? Because that is the truth which I believe and our scriptures have already said is you are already complete. From that mentality, when I do everything else, team cohesion and efficiency peaks. This is something I encourage all of you to do because in Viksit Bharat and from our Prime Minister's vision, he said, and I showed you the slide, which again I have to thank that he had put it down for me to use. The difference from a Western way of material and an Indian way of material is that over there, they're constantly making you feel you're not enough. So you need to have the next iPhone. You need to have the next job. You need to have the next LinkedIn connection. You need to tell all of them, hey guys, chill. I'm from India. I'm already taken care of. But still, you know what? I'll let you also know an honest secret. Guess what? You're divine. You're already complete. Now let's have this next startup. Let's have a coffee together. Okay? Thank you.
Very nice. Moving on, again, I'm trying to ask questions that will give insights and help the students. So spaceflight, human spaceflight is about systems plus biology, right? About you guys. So what can you tell the students about non-negotiables, about fitness, sleep, health, etc.?
The most important thing out here is that in our spirituality, they say you're not the body and mind. So many people say, I don't have to do anything. I can just lie down in the bed. Okay? That's not the meaning. Even Adi Shankaracharya said that you're not the body, but the body is the temple where the Jivatma resides. That's why you should take care of it. I'll tell you this one thing, and I was 91 kilos few years back. I'm 61 right now. I'm 49 years old. I can do more chin-ups than I did when I was an 18-year-old in NDA. I'm not slogging it out. I'm doing everything intelligently. But one major thing I changed in my mental psyche, that I can be the best astronaut, I can be the best husband, the best father, the best, professional. But if my health is not with me, nothing is going to matter. You all know what happened to Steve Jobs, right? He's not here anymore. Now, that health, our own country has already bulletproofed us. Not through just allopathy, you must have allopathy. You're the land of Ayurveda. You're in the land of family bonding. So what I can tell you is that please take care of your physical and mental health. Right now, all of you are in great shape, but trust me, there is a point of inflection that will come in 5 to 6 years. You think right now, because your energy is so much, the metabolism is very high. Eat healthy, sleep well, breathe fresh air, spend time with good friends. In satsang, satsang means good company. It's very, very, very important. This is one of them. I'm so thankful he asked me this. And you all, many of people, I was talking to a vice chancellor, so many people aspire to go to USA and other people. You just don't take my word for it. Just check their happiness index. Not much. You know what's the difference between them and us? And I'll tell you by a very small metric which you can see. You see in their movies, and I've actually been to US and Aditya ji has been there also. They are very poor people who stay in the slums and all. They are really miserable. Very miserable. Have you seen our poor people who are out there dancing and enjoying and all that? Because their metric is different. Go by your own metric. And our metric of health is different. Understand, it's just not going to a gym and building up your body. We had a holistic yoga. We have Ayurveda. An entire thing. Go back to your grandparents. I challenge all of you. Go and sit with your grandparents and your parents. And they'll be surprised and tell them, can you tell us what you, and just shadow them. You'll find many small things they do because unconsciously they'll be taking something and eating. They'll break some leaf from somewhere. They're doing most of it actually subconsciously. Do the best research over there. Trust me, make a YouTube video on them that, shadowing your grandmom. This, I'm telling you, is gold. Other societies don't have it. Make sure you take it, and health is the most important.
No, well said. I'll just do a last question, then we'll go to audience Q&A. So, Prasanth ji, what specific call to action could you give the students to participate in nation building and contribute to Viksit Bharat? What would you tell them?
Thank you. So first is, I would say, don't go for any shortcuts in life. I started this talk by also giving me, so Aditya ji's book is fat and big. But you know what? That's what data does. Don't let somebody else crunch your data. Spend some time. There is a beauty in slow living. You know what is slow living? Just sitting and sometimes doing no thing. And no thing part of it is sitting, enjoying the breeze, keeping your electronics away, taking a book, reading it from cover to cover. Don't take my word for it. You see the story of all the great people in your life, you feel great. Most of you must be thinking, maybe Bill Gates or Elon Musk or Steve Jobs. All of them have spent time. You see Elon Musk, how many books he has read. Not when he decided to make rockets, he had no idea. He started reading back to back. He didn't take some 30-second reel or a small, 10-minute video. That shortcut kind of thing. If you're serious about what it is you're doing, so it's like an a counter to what he's saying, that what is the one line you have to tell them? A one line I have to tell them is spend the time to read something which is 1,000 pages. And there is the beauty you get. Okay, and this is for you only. Don't have to convince your friends and other things and say that, I'm spending time reading a book, and they'll say it looks so uncool. If you want to actually be successful in life, read the books which are there already in our country. To be part of Viksit Bharat, I would say, isn't it a no-brainer that I would actually Google and see, is there anything on Viksit Bharat, this book will come up. That's how I came to know mostly of the book. And then I realized the person out here who's written it has got so much of knowledge. Read the books which are already there. You're feeling depressed in life? Viksit Bharat? Read Bhagavad Gita. You're thinking what to do in life? Bhagavad Puranam, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and the Purusharthas are there. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Everything is already there. Revisit the books, revisit your parents and grandparents and your culture. Everything is already written there. And now you put a new flavor to it. Thank you.
Excellent. I'll end with a few comments, like capstone kind of things. So I just want to again tell you, we have this vision for Viksit Bharat, but you guys are in the unique moment in history. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity in Bharat, where in the next coming decades, great things will be achieved. You can start great businesses, make great careers, make a great life. So you have this unique opportunity. Along with that, we are in what is called a Goldilocks period as far as economics goes. We're in a period with low inflation, high growth. We are the fastest growing major economy in the world. Our median age is 29. So, everything, all the ingredients are here now in Bharat today, and you just have to now cook. All the ingredients are laid out for you. And, I'll just end with the quote that I love the most from Honorable Prime Minister, which is, "Yahi samay hai, sahi samay hai, Bharat ka anmol samay hai." Thank you.
मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष माघे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय।